Hello and welcome to this rather somber edition of the Monkey Nut Punch podcast. This week, my somber companion is Keith. Say hello, Keith.
Hello.
This week, we won't be emoting too much. We won't be getting frustrated. We won't be getting angry. And we won't be reviewing anything. We'll just go through the weather, what's come out of the library, and books that need returning. Anyway, fuck that. I can't keep that up. Or one podcast, I will keep that up for the entire podcast, and you guys will be thinking we're Nigel-less this weekend because he's Nigel, and I think he's invading Wales. He hired a tank and took some pictures on Instagram. I haven't seen him since. Could be invading Germany. I don't know. I would say but I think go for Wales just as a trial run. He'd be more successful than the Russians. Just say that. Anyway, without further ado, it's Keith. Say hello, Keith.
Hello, Keith. How are you doing?
Doing all right. We're going to be talking about Star Trek Picard. Yep. And the Batman. To which I reply, yeah. There's a lot of people giving a lot of praise for things in the Batman. I think it's bullshit, and I will explain why in due course. But first, we'll talk about Star Trek Picard.
I watched this, and right.
No one goes full retard.
So you come at it from not really being a Trekkie, right? I come at it from being a Next Generation fan, right?
Oh no, I am a Trekkie, but not a diehard Trekkie.
No, and I watched this, and I knew I was looking at this going, like the normies, the people that don't see through the BS, they're going to like this because there's a shit ton of member berries in here. There's none of the snide characters that we had the last time. Those same characters are there, but they are all part of Starfleet. Everything's cool. We've got Starfleet. We've got Starfleet on starships. Picard isn't being, subservient to everything in the thing. This is almost good. Then you see through the thin veil of bullshit and go, well, hang on a second. Raffi would never, ever have been brought back in because she's a drug addict. You've got somebody that literally just murdered somebody and got away with it, and we're now saying, her mind was brought by aliens.
Hang on a second. I love that. I watched that bit, and I'm just like, what the fuck? If you could turn around and pointed at an ankle bracelet and turn around and say, look, I'm fine, but I'm being monitored, yeah, in case I do something bad, yeah? If I do anything bad, I get a zap. If I think anything bad, I get a zap. If I raise my voice, I get a zap. I would have gone, okay, that's a nice way of Starfleet dealing with it. It's just I'm useful here than I am elsewhere.
Oh, no, it was alien mind manipulation, apparently, even though there was none of that in the first season. I just want to point that out. None of that in the first 7 of 9, who
2
never,
by 4.
ever showed...
Not 7 by 9.
Yeah.
She's 2 by
7
4.
7 by 9. No, we're calling her 7 by 9 now.
No, 2 by 4.
2 by 4 then. 7, whoever, who always was interested in men, who had several relationships in Star Trek Voyager with men.
Has she offered to suck off Harry Kim? I'd just like to point out.
Is suddenly a lesbian. Is suddenly a lesbian. Because we have to have our token lesbian. Starfleet still has no male admirals whatsoever. They're just all female. Starfleet is a matriarchy.
That's why they're doing
Guinan decided to age herself.
No. The comment.
We're not going to mention the 20 pounds of fucking beefcake that she ate as well.
I would have turned around and said it's like kind of because it's very well you aging up. But what the fuck? Why are you a planet? You've got a small moon orbiting you. I would have just turned around. I would have just had her turn around and goes, "Oh, look, older. It's not. It's just." It goes, "It's a byproduct." It goes, "There's so much good food on this planet. I've just eaten my way, and this is what happens when we eat too much. This is what a fat, whatever the races look like. We age slower, but when we eat fat, we kind of look weird and distorted. But the food's good, so good."
It was just such BS. I mean, the thing was, I can see through it. I can see through the the thin veil, because and like I saw several people I know on Facebook went, "Oh, Star Trek Picard season 2 way better." And I went, "No. This is all
hang on a
member
second.
berries.
Hold on a
They're
second. Hold on a
sucking
second.
you in. It's
No,
like a gateway drug,
think
that episode.
I think it is. I think it is better, but being better than a form of cancer by having another milder form of cancer still means you have cancer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. It's man. Yeah.
It was just. I mean, it was the Trekkie in me almost was like, "Oh, this is cool," and I'm the Stargazer. It's just like, yeah, okay, we're going through all the member berries. Oh, we've got a Bajoran tablet sitting on his desk, which no one spotted, but I kind of did. That was from a Deep Space Nine episode. I'll give them their dues. They fucking go through these episodes and they throw in there, but they are member berries because the head writer, the person that is the overall responsible for Trek, says he doesn't care about Star Trek. He says, his own words, it's a platform for his bullshit politics because they think they're better than us. They think they're better than all of you.
They have a new head writer.
But you see, Picard's mother was murdered in front of him, or there's some kind of tragedy there. Where did that come from? Talk about Redcon.
I can just point out, I saw it in the first season, The Next Generation, as an old lady offering him tea.
Yeah.
It's that. Yeah.
And by the way, her English accent was just the pits appalling. But we won't go there.
That was the least of your worries.
Yeah, I know.
Least of the worries is they seem to fall off a cliff. All right. So you got Rios, who's put down the cigar and the lighter. Okay? Put it fucking down. Yeah, keep it in your ready room. Yeah? So every so often you can have a joke that he smokes in the ready room and then start trying to clear the smell out. That would work. Put something along those lines. It's like, how the fuck did he become captain all of a sudden?
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, all the matriarchy that is now running Star Trek, Starfleet, they're piss poor judgments of character because they just gave this fucking questionable character a fucking ship, and not just any ship. No, they gave them a brand spanking Borg-related fucking starship. Yeah, well done. Yes, A++.
I just
on Rafi's in charge of the US Excelsior. Member berries.
No, she's what do you call it? She's CO. She only had 3 pips.
Yeah, she's a commander, but they said she is captaining the Excelsior. They made that comment. Although she's only a commander, because you can't make a drug addict, lesbian friend captain yet. So we're going to make her a commander. But she was in command of the Excelsior. They make that comment. So she's not captain. We have had Star Trek has done that in the past. Sisko was not a captain when he took over the.
Yeah, but he was in charge of a space station, not a ship.
Exactly. But
and
the
when
fact
guess
that
what
Bajorian...
Hang on. Guess what happened when he got a ship? He got promoted to captain.
He did. But I have a sneaking suspicion that they might have persuaded Avery Brooks back because of that bloody Bajoran tablet. That was all telling. That was like, oh look, we're gonna have a Ben Sisko turning up. And I think they're going to do that. I think they're somehow going to slip in a cameo from Sisko somehow or another, because he's not dead. He's just
got with wormhole aliens.
And seriously, though, I mean, spend a few bob on the fucking de-aging. Seriously, I mean, that was the worst de-aging on Q I've ever seen. It was so bad. It was ridiculous.
I thought it was okay for television, if that makes sense. There's like,
well, not television. When you've got Marvel and you've seen what Marvel have done. Hell, the deep fake Luke Skywalker in the latest thing was way better than that. I mean, and it was for 5 seconds. You could have spent a few more bob cleaning that up.
Probably for 5 seconds. I looked at it when it's like $10,000 a second.
No, yeah, it was still.
I can spend that on Rafi.
I get why the normies loved it. There was enough nostalgia in there that it kind of sucked you in if you didn't see through the thin veil of these are the same people that wrote season 1, these are the same people that make Star Trek Discovery and just about everything else. And if you actually look at it with the bullshit fucking glasses, on, so it takes it away. Black female admiral, that wasn't on purpose. Oh god, yes it was. Every opportunity they get, there, it's the same bullshit politics with just a thin veil of member berries. Come, look. We get massive ratings for our first episode. And it's a shame because, again, him being the captain of the Stargazer, had he not been in season 1 being a complete loser, had this been the first episode of Star Trek Picard, not including the first season, this could have been actually, you would have gone, this is interesting. All right? And had we not had any of this pre-bullshit that we had before, this, you would have gone, okay, this is actually quite interesting, but we know what's coming. So it's just, yeah. And it pisses me off because I want it to be good. I do. I want it to be good. I love Star Trek The Next Gen. I love Picard. I want it to be good, and I know it's not. I know it's member berries. I know it's fucking sucking you in. It's like that first shot of heroin. It feels fucking great. It's all the shit that comes after.
I think I watched the first bit, and it was just like I was just looking for story bits. Yeah, just story bits. Something that develops a character, develops the plot, something to push things along. Yeah. I appreciated that whoever's, because I said they got new story writer in charge now. Yeah, whoever's in charge of it seems to have just forgotten previous Picard. He's gone out of his way to forget previous Picard.
They keep commenting on the fact that he's old. He's an android. But we like. I mean, if we'd forgotten the end of the season 1, they made him an android. He's got a positronic neck. He can't die. He's a fucking android.
Yeah. It's because I as I said, I watched it, and I think I got 20 minutes into it. And the first 10 minutes had my attention. It had my attention. I didn't know I was enjoying it, but you had my attention. And then I think it cut to Soji and What's a Mush doing the diplomatic thing, and I'm looking at it going, "Oh, fuck off, please." And then I went off and I did something else, and I came back to the bit where the Borg was not the Borg Queen. It's not the Borg Queen. They're playing with you. Yeah, it's not the Borg Queen. They are playing with you. It's going to be
the voice of Sauron, because we've got a Lord of the Rings fan there. Because obviously we've got Romulan elf, and if you look at the shape of the thing and the elaborate sort of stuff, it's the voice of Sauron. But we're going to call this the voice of the Borg.
I'm hoping it's Michael Burnham, just so they can burn Picard alongside Discovery. And it's probably not. It's Picard's mother, because you should look up, and that was the only reference to tell you it was Picard's mother. They've done the same shit in Star Trek Discovery with the Angel suit and Burnham's mother. So why not fucking recycle the same plot line and put it in Picard?
Well, it's not like they're talented writers.
The thing is, so many other people are talented writers. It's like, I claim to be a woman. You put me on staff for your gender and fucking equity things. I'll help you write some stories. Yeah, but it's just it couldn't hold. It didn't hold my attention. That's how it failed in my eyes.
It held my attention because even though I knew it, and there were several moments when I was like that, because I sent you a message to you, and it was a meme of somebody going like this, me watching Picard season 2, because I watched it twice. Yeah. I watched it the first time, and it suckered me in, and I went, no, I'm being suckered in. I know Gareth will fucking tear me apart if I come on after watching this once, going, oh, I really liked it. I have to go and watch it again. Put insert bullshit glasses on.
It's what you call it. It's the rule. If you ever review anything, you have to watch it twice. That's the first rule. You watch it twice, because that way you can watch it the first time. You can have your initial feeling, and then watch it again and go, hang on.
Yeah, and it was that, because that first scene with them running through in recognisable Starfleet uniforms on a recognisable, slightly updated Starfleet ship, Everything was member berries. It was there to sucker you in. And then, Picard on the fucking bridge of the starship going, just, self-destruct ship. You're like, okay, I'm suckered in, right? And then you see it again, and you're like, no, bullshit. Oh yeah, politics. Yeah, this is gonna.
Oh, I did like the way the Borg Queen managed to kill everyone but the main cast.
Well, that's
But that's not the Borg Queen, convenient.
We're going to see a Borg Queen because then we saw her in the preview at the end, a Borg Queen.
Did we? I didn't.
They showed you. It's not Alex Cringe, by the way. It's somebody that doesn't even remotely look like her. I know who the actress is, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. But you do see the Borg Queen or a Borg Queen in the coming in the next or coming on season 2 of Star Trek Picard. But look, it was nice seeing John Delancey's Q. It had enough to sort of like, and okay, I am intrigued by the fucking Bajoran tablet. I think that is all telling we're going to get some kind of Deep Space Nine thing. And the other thing, because I mean, one more thing. In the Academy thing, right? When you see all the fucking flags, Ferengi flag, Klingon flag. So, and Bajoran flag. So, are those flags saying people that have joined the Starfleet Academy? Or are they members of the Federation? Because apparently, if that's true, both the Ferengi, which I can believe because Rom became, but more importantly, the Klingons are apparently part of the Federation.
I can believe that. That would work. Yeah, that would work.
Right. Yeah.
Right. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just I was just saying that. Do you think they're gonna do the whole Q thing all the way through, and it gets to the end, and that's when Avery Brooks turns up as Daddy Wormhole Alien?
I think it's
and rebalances stuff. I
think we're going to get. I think they're going to do what Discovery did in Discovery season 1 was a kind of like 3 parts, didn't it? You had that first part where Burnham's a bitch. Burnham's always been a bitch. Then you had the mirror universe. Then you had the final. I think we're going to get something like that. I think we've only seen the first part of the season. I can't see them doing the whole of the season in the past. It won't work. It will get boring. So I think what we're going to see is 4 or 5 episodes. Next episode, they won't go back in the past. The whole of that episode is going to be in the totalitarian, not mirror universe of the Federation.
I just wanted to end with Picard and Q and maybe Cisco. Cisco's like, Q, stop this shit, yeah? And he goes, all right. So he clicks his fingers. Everything returns back to normal. Patrick Stewart looks down his trousers and, wow, gained an inch. And then Q goes, it's gone. That's why I want some humor, some proper humor.
That Bajoran tablet is the one that he broke. If you remember the Deep Space Nine episode where he releases the par race for the first time, and it's where he goes a bit nuts and he throws this fucking ancient fucking tablet across the room and breaks, and then the par of the wraith comes out of it, and the wormhole alien comes out of it, and they have a bit of a thingy. That's the episode it's from. Now that's either there to bait fans because they love to wind up the fans, because they know the real fans are the ones that don't have the same politics as them, so they just like to bait you. Yes, they really do that. They really are that petty. They've done it more than once. But it could be there as we're going to bring in some kind of Deep Space Nine thing. Now, it could be that they bring in another character. But why put that Bajoran tablet there? That Bajoran tablet is there because the biggest connection is Cisco. So have they somehow convinced Avery Brooks to come back? I can see Patrick Stewart going to him and go, come on, Avery, I'm doing it. And I know that Avery Brooks' politics, some of it aligns with them. They would have led him in going, oh, yeah, but we're all about diversity. And in all fairness, Avery Brooks has always been a campaigner for equal rights and diversity and stuff like that, but his politics is real and comes from a real version. It's not fake virtue signaling bullshit. He's always been that way, and a lot of his politics I can champion, but I can see them somehow suckering him in with that. So I suspect Although it wouldn't surprise me either way. It wouldn't surprise me either way. We knew Q was coming in, but they kept Q for season 2. So we always knew Q was rumored right from the offset. We knew Guinan was coming back in because he fucking invited her on a chat show. I think that was Guinan's, one and only thing is like, Picard, you've got to get laid, basically. Because that's what she was saying to him. For God's sakes, man, get laid.
Oh, you suck your dick. Sorry. I don't know if it works. This is like a year old, and I've never actually tried this dick. The previous one I could have said yes to, but this one.
Yeah, no blue pills. No blue pills needed, Jean-Luc. And
just plug a USB
women,
socket in and charge yourself up.
As women go, that Irish Romlin, she's not a bad looking lady for
not for age. Yeah,
actually, again, this is what annoys me because I like the actress. I do. I loved her in Doctor Who. She was brilliant in Doctor Who.
Yes.
Madam, I just can't do an Irish Romlin. I'm sorry. When a Romlin turns around and goes to cheeky fecker, it just takes you out of it completely. That's called bad writing, by the way.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Can we move on to let's move on to the Batman.
Just before we do, before we go on to that, I just wanted to point something out why it's fresh in my memory. Book number 8 of The Expanse.
Yes.
Do you know who it's dedicated to?
George R.R. Martin.
Yes. What the fuck?
Yes.
Is that taking the piss? Is that like a secret nod going, we've written 8 books so far, you lazy fat fuck?
No, the 9th book is. In the 9th book,
that...
the 9th book, when they did the 9th book, they went, beat you, George Martin. We did 9 books. When it took you a chance to write 1. Yes. Anyway.
On the 8th book, by the way. Just.
Okay, cool. It's very girl power, that book.
I don't know what the difference is between this. You said there was something at the end of the 7th book that would piss me off. Nothing has pissed me off. I know
between the 7th and 8th
dead.
book. Yes, that's it. She just dies off between books.
Oh yeah, they didn't give her any kind of. Well, I mean, no, they didn't give her.
Disappeared like that.
Yeah, I see your point.
That's the bit that pissed me off because all of a sudden, boom, like that. Yeah, and then Naomi in the book, towards the end, demonstrates that she's played Homeworld. Anyway, let's move on to Bam. A word's too much for you? Then you should follow us on Instagram. We put pretty pictures out. Thanks. Right. Ask me if I like Batman or not.
You said it was shit.
No, you're not supposed to do that. That's not how you create. This is
a
story.
Did you like Batman? Did you like Batman?
Yeah, I thought it was absolute garbage.
Why did you think it was garbage? Because a lot of people have said it's not the best movie and it doesn't stick the landing, but they like the movie.
Right, first things first, Batman is supposed to be a superhero, yeah? He's supposed to save people.
Yes.
How many people do you think he saves in this film?
Probably not many.
About 10, after about maybe 70,000 die in a flood in Gotham.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's my first big fucking problem. Next one was, how can I put it? Crack-addled Riddler. Yeah, in a gimp mask, drove me up the wall. I wanted to punch the fucking screen. He just looked like he was in a gimp mask, doing most of it on his phone. They paid this actor all this money, and he's literally phoning it in for most of that movie. It gets towards the end. His best bit is when he's talking to his internet buddies, and it comes across as quite genuine then, but it's autistic Riddler. Yeah, and I mean autistic, bad autistic, not autistic, clever, can't deal with people autistic. I mean autistic as a meltdown. There's a bit towards the end where these bombs are going off, yeah, and you see it from the Riddler's perspective in Arkham as he's watching the bombs go off along the seawall, yeah, and he's sitting there going boom, boom, and it's like, dude, who the fuck let that into the edit? It was that grates on me. It's like putting a cheese grater on my face.
Well, no one likes the ending. I know that
no one likes the ending. Is crap. Yeah, because Batman is responsible for death of about 70,000 people in Gotham as they drown. They didn't say it. He kills at least 2 people in the car chase with the Penguin. Yeah, when a fuel lorry rolls over, so the fuel lorry and the lorry behind it that he jumps over the top of burst into flames.
Is the Joker in this? Is the Joker hinted
Yes,
at or
Joker is
turned
in
up?
this at the end
Yeah, I thought
as
so.
a cameo.
Yeah.
That's it. But it was just
Who is the Joker?
I have no fucking idea who the guy who played the Joker is.
Right.
He was in there. You got like a silhouetted kind of half in light, half not in light face. The problem is that I always picture the Riddler as being the calm one out of the bunch. If you know what I mean, he's ordered chaos. Yeah, do you know what I mean when I say ordered chaos?
Yeah.
He's a bad guy who's on the lines of evil, but he's orderly in the way he does it, and he causes
I
chaos.
thought the Riddler should be some kind of an updated version of the Riddler would be a computer hacker, but they have to be methodical. They have to be, yes, they like causing chaos. You know, almost along the lines of sort of, I'm going to use it, but not really, but that kind of Timothy Oliphant kind of thing from Die Hard 4, that kind of methodical evil, but clever. And I've heard that there's a twist with the Riddler. Is it? What was the twist?
A very good twist.
What?
The twist was at one point Batman thinks he's figured out who he is. He's interrogating him, and he's sitting there and he just keeps saying Bruce Wayne to him. He's looking at him, going Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne, and then he finishes it with he's the only one that's got away. So I'm like, oh fuck off. It's Patterson. He tried. I'll give him that. He tried. I think the best way of describing this movie is soulless. It feels soulless. I don't know. I need you to watch it. I don't know if maybe I had the hump. Maybe my head wasn't in the right space. So I need you to watch it to see if it's me being an arsehole. Because I could be being an arsehole about the whole thing, yeah? But the one thing that got me, yeah, was it was too long, too slow. The Batman pretty much drove the bad guy to do the things, and it's just Colin Farrell's great.
I've heard that.
Fucking fantastic. He was.
I heard that Patterson was pretty good as Batman. As a young Batman, and they did a lot more focus, far more on the detective side of things.
No, he's a retard Batman. Yeah, I'm sorry, he's retard Batman. I'm more. The more I step away from it, the more I think about it, the more I'm looking at it going, dude, you were shit as Batman. He's all right doing like the fight sequence and the action bits, but you just look at him and it's like, oh, okay, this is supposed to be like Batman Year 2. So I'm comparing him to Christian Bale, Batman Begins, who's Year 1 Batman, yeah, for all intents and purposes. Okay? Would Christian Bale let half this shit happen? The answer is no. Okay? He would have done the old stupid voice. But it's like, okay, he fucks up. There's some bits where he fucks up, but there's some bits where it's like, there's fucking up a few things. Just being shit as Batman, yeah? He's rude to Alfred, yeah, as Bruce Wayne, which I don't like, yeah. Everyone's like kind of, he spends most of his time as Batman. It kind of ruins the mystique a little of Batman, yeah? He doesn't.
Yeah, but you get a lot of people. The one criticism of the Christian Bale thing is that a lot of the time he's Bruce Wayne and not Batman. And that is certainly so in The Dark Knight. Now, I mean, I've made no bones about it. My favorite Batman movie is Batman Begins. I know The Dark Knight is a better movie, but it is not a better Batman movie. The Batman Begins, to me, is still the ultimate Batman movie because it got that balance of Gotham not being recognizable, but kind of real life to a certain extent, but not being recognizable. Whereas the Gotham that is in both the other two movies is Chicago and New York, respectively, and it's recognizable as such. Whereas the Gotham that centers around the Wayne Tower with the sort of monorail in Batman Begins is great. And I just want to answer Fuzzled, do we really need another Batman movie? I would like to see a Batman movie that's in the vein of Batman Begins, so it has that balance of comic booky sort of Arkham with the sort of, you know, the sort of downtrodden area that you see in that film, with a year 2 Batman that's more detective-y.
No, I don't want. I don't. I come to, I think I've got reached the conclusion when it comes to Batman and Spider-Man. I do not want to see their origins. I know their origins.
No, I'm not talking about an origins story.
I'm not. I don't even want to see them
year
year 2. I want 10 years down the line. I want them when
it's
they
either
are
that
Batman,
or you do the Dark Knight
peak.
Returns properly. You bring
No,
bring
I
back
don't.
after
That's the other thing with Batman. I don't want to see the Dark Knight Returns. I've seen it fucking too much. The cartoon.
Well, no, they've never made it.
The cartoon adaptation that they did, brilliant. Leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Right, my son, who has ADHD, sat down and watched all 3.5 hours of that.
Yeah, and it's because it's brilliant. It's still one of my favourite comic books. In fact, it's one of the only comic books I have here because it's so damn good, and I read it like every couple of years. I will read that book because it's one of the best fucking comic books ever written.
All right, so the one thing I've heard in the reviews that pissed me off, and I think the only person who I listened to who reviewed it, who I picked at random because I just looked for Batman reviews, was Ben fucking Shapiro. And he turned around and he had the same agreement with me where he said the music was shit. Everyone's like, oh, the music was really
said
good.
The music's really good.
The music is shit. It's Ave Maria and the funeral dirge dialed up with some Batman elements in it. That's all the music that you get. Everything else is generic crap that you get in other movies. Seriously, I'm sitting there waiting for the swell of music and something to happen, especially during the car chase. Nothing.
I have to admit, I will say this. I watched Nerderotic, Geeks and Gamers, and Az's review, and it's almost like I watched the same review. And it's like, guys, seriously, you are becoming generic. I mean, it is the same review. All three of them said exactly the same things about the movie. And I was like, I want to go and see it, but I haven't been too well over the weekend, so I just couldn't stomach 3 hours in the cinema.
So let's get back to just. I've got more. I've got fucking more. I've got a lot more. So Jeffrey Wright was James Gordon. Yeah. He embodies the character. He can grow a mustache. Okay. He's got the core elements labeled down. All right. I'll accept him as James.
Do you give a shit about the color of his skin? Because I've heard people.
No, I don't. Because
I don't. Because I like him as an actor.
He works. He works. I can see him as James Gordon. As I said, if he couldn't grow a mustache, then I would have issues. All right, seriously, it's he kind of fits that kind of thing. But
I like him as an actor.
But here's the problem. Yeah, he has nothing to do in the film. He has one scene with Batman where they're in an interrogation room, and that's it. Everything is him going, "Oh my God, there's a bomb. Oh my God, they've killed him. Oh my God, we've just found this thing. Oh my God, my car's on fire. Oh my God, they killed the mayor." That's all he's there for. It really is. And I'm just like, this actor can act. You know, I know he can act. We've all seen him.
Oh,
act.
yes, he can.
He can act. Yeah, if you give him the chance, he can act. Okay, I might not like his politics, but he can act. And then it's a similar thing with Andy Serkis as the butler, not the butler.
Alfred.
What's his name? Alfred, thank you. Where he's like he's like, oh, Master Wayne, your dad was a good man. Master Wayne, your dad was a good man. Master Wayne, your dad. Oh, look, a bomb. I'm just going to look at it for a moment. Bang. Just like, what the fuck?
I know that Gotham, the TV series, did it, where you had this Alfred that was more like SAS style of stuff.
That's fine.
That's never worked for me. Alfred, Michael Caine's Alfred, and the Alfred from all the other movies, that's Alfred. Alfred is an English butler. Now, Michael Caine's Alfred had a bit of the sort of, street to him, and that kind of worked for me. But no, this kind of SAS style Alfred doesn't work.
I'll be honest with you. I'm okay with the bodyguard / butler aspect of it, but again, nothing to fucking work with. As I said, he literally goes, "Your dad was a good man. Your dad was a good man. There's a bomb. Oh no! Now I'm in hospital. I'll just to remind you, Master Wayne, your dad was a good man." That's it. I have summarized those two characters quite beautifully. John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. I could just picture him in fucking the first Transformers film, just playing in my head every time I saw him. So where he's the stupid agent from whatever it was, Division 9 or Nest or whatever they called it. He I couldn't break that. That's more me than him as an actor. They kill off Rupert Penry Jones right at the beginning. I hadn't seen him in
Was
ages.
Rupert Penry Jones in it?
He was I think he was the mayor that gets killed off at the beginning by the Riddler. Which
Nice.
that was all right because apparently they're all corrupt, they're all that thing. Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle was okay. They actually gave us stuff to work with.
I thought she was okay. Yeah,
she was okay. I wouldn't describe her as great. Good television performance, not theatrical performance, not film performance. Television performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The tier above amateur dramatics. That sounds so fucking sucky. Paul Dano again. I could have just he played crack. He played crack-addled Riddler. He did. He was like this. He was just literally. It was just like, for most of the film, he's this gimp in the mask talking to his phone. Yeah, and then it gets towards the end, and there's literally the bit where he's trying to rally his troops to do bad things. Was the only bit where I bought into him, and then he just. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they're playing. I don't know why the Riddler, because the Riddler it's like the opposite of the Joker. The Joker is just mental. Yeah, he's out of control. He's chaotic. You don't know what's going to happen with him. Yeah, the Riddler is like kind of, I have thought 12 steps ahead of you, and I will fucking ruin your day. Yeah, because I am the smartest person in the room. Not the same. I don't know. I have no idea what they're thinking. That was not good. And then it's just you got the other bits in there. So we've got you've got this right. This is the other thing that grinds on me. Yeah, you watch these shows and stuff. Yeah, and they did it in James Bond with him and fucking Blofeld, where they turned around and went, "You and me, we are related." Yeah, I don't know why I did that as a voice. It's a fucking Mexican gangster. You and me, we're related. This is me trying to do Danny Trejo and failing horribly. Yeah. You and me are related, huh? Yeah. You used to be my brother until a car crash and I got thrown into an orphanage. Yeah. They do that with I'm sorry, spoiler warning. They do that with Bruce Wayne and Stingy, but there's a connection between not the Penguin, the Riddler. There's a connection between the two of them.
So what? They're brothers?
No, they're not brothers. They're orphans at the same time. But here's the thing, yeah, because Bruce Wayne was made an orphan at the same time with him, no one gave a shit about Riddler orphan. Yeah. So that's why he doesn't like him. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. I like the idea because there's one version of the Riddler where he works for Wayne Enterprises and everyone steals all his shit. So he goes, fuck this. I'm going out on my own. I like that version of the Riddler. The one that feels like he's been put upon and then gets above it all. The noise for the Batmobile was fantastic. When they have the Batmobile,
I don't know how I feel about the Batmobile being a muscle car. But
don't worry about it being a muscle car. I'm just talking about the sound they did for it. Yeah, the sound in the cinema was really good. It felt like there was a car in the cinema. It was probably the bit that's really awful to say. The noise of the car stuck out for me the most. I need you to see. I really genuinely need to see it.
I will see it one way or another.
Because if it's me having the hump, yeah, then fair enough. I'll have to go and see it again. But I'm like, I think part of it is all that I didn't hear any reviews. Yeah, I just had people's opinions on it. I went, oh, this is great. This is fantastic. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and then I sat down and watched it, and it just fucking dragged on and on and on, and it was going really slowly. And it's like, dude, edit some of this shit out. You do it in the script phase, or you do it in the editing suite. Yeah, edit this shit out to increase the pace. Yeah, there were some good bits with Batman's working with Catwoman, and they're going to the Iceberg Lounge. That was cool. That worked for me. I was watching that. I'm engaged. You got me engaged, but it was just there's certain bits where it didn't. It's like Batman just like teleported from place to place. It felt like in a few sections. He's like, he goes to see the Riddler. Oh, we're an orphan. Oh, an orphan. We hated Bruce Wayne because he was an orphan too. And it's like kind of, boom, I've teleported. I'm already in the thingy, and Commissioner Gordon's with me. There's been no phone call, no car travel, no nothing. Yeah, and I know that you don't necessarily need it, but did it quite a bit, where it's just all of a sudden boom. Yeah, and it's annoying because the first part of the film, it shows them clearly traveling from place to place. So I don't know.
Can I
I
ask you
think
one question?
Yeah.
At any one time, is Gotham recognisable?
Yes,
Because I know where
the
it's
problem
filmed.
Is
Is
it
it because you
problem is
know
that, look,
Liverpool?
hang on, don't say anything. Don't say anything because I've got this down, right? So Gotham needed to be a run-down, degenerate city full of crack-addled, drug-infused, poor people. Naturally, they chose Scotland, Glasgow to film most of it. It works. Gotham, the production people did a good job to make Gotham look like Gotham. That's the one thing I can say came out of it. It looked like Gotham, even though I know that I'm looking down some of those streets and it's like, I'm sure there's a kebab sign there.
Well, a lot of it was shot in Liverpool as well, apparently. So
the other city that you both have been deemed European cultural centres of excellence. I just like to point out. Why?
UK's no longer in the EU.
Yeah, it makes fucking much more sense now. No, we can deem them shitholes. We've been reclassified as shithole.
That's unfair. I quite like Liverpool. That's the thing. I kind of like Liverpool. I do. I don't know. Glasgow's full of TARDISes. So therefore I do Glasgow.
They torn down the Gorbals in Glasgow, which was their terrible area. The problem is I don't know what the new terrible area is. So
I have to say, I kind of Liverpool for me was always I like Liverpool, but that's me. Joking aside, there is a lot of jokes to be said about Liverpool, but I've always liked people from Liverpool. I do. Hey,
we got some questions there because I was going off on one. So all right, so the Fuzz is like, hang on, all right. The new Batman was too slow and too bleak. Agree. Easy. Nice one. Do we need another Batman? Nah, not really. I think we need some more. I think we need like Flash.
I would have liked to have seen Ben Affleck's movie that he was intending to make at one point, because that could have been good. Because Ben Affleck was a Batman fan. I think he was quite good as Batman. And I think his movie could have been interesting. I would have liked to have seen it. It was either going to be good or shit.
When it comes to Batman, the jury's out on fucking Ben Affleck because I didn't get to see him do proper Batman.
I agree with you. I would like to have seen his Batman.
I would like to give him a proper chance with the proper Batman film,
and he might still get that.
I liked who's the right Batman? Peter Weller. RoboCop. He's what Batman. Just see the bottom part of his face. He's used to it. No, I'm joking. I did like Peter Weller in Dark Knight Returns. He did a good job in that. He could have played Batman in the early 90s.
What's his face as Batman in Batman Begins was great. I think The Dark Knight was not my favorite Batman movie. A lot of people love The Dark Knight. I rate it as the worst of the three. Because it was yeah, I do. I think it was Heat, because it wasn't. I like Batman Begins because for me it is the perfect balance of comic book and real life. That they got the balance right. Gotham was a character, and Gotham didn't look like anywhere recognizable, and I liked that version of the origin story. That worked for me, and Christian Bale in that then was very good. I thought Katie Holmes was a better version of that character. I like Maggie Gyllenhaal, whatever her name is, as an actress, but it didn't work for me. There wasn't chemistry between her like there was with Katie Holmes, in my opinion. The Dark Knight was too much like Heat. It wasn't a Batman movie. It was a crime novel. It was a gangster movie set in Chicago. It was a Chicago gangster movie in modern times, and there wasn't enough of the comic book element for it to work.
I think so. See, when it comes to the Dark Knight, my brain's like this. It goes, they tried to just ground it completely in reality.
Yes, and it didn't work.
That's what's the thing. They went to try and say if Batman was real and existed in the real world, because they removed the. It was, I think, it removed the comic book element. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
It was Batman without the comic book. And I liked it because it was a different take. Here, come.
I get. Look, I mean, I will agree with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers on this. The Dark Knight is a better movie, but Batman Begins is the best Batman movie because The Dark Knight is a better movie than Batman Begins. Don't get me wrong.
I will agree. That's perfect. I agree with you. That's the perfect way of seeing it. I completely agree with you on that because The Dark Knight's is a really good. I think it's a great movie. But if you describe it as a comic book movie, no, because I think did Spider-Man 2 come out roughly the same time as
no.
It was? What came out? There was a film. There was a film that came out roughly the same time as Batman, Dark Knight. And I said to my brothers, I said, one's a good film and the other one's a good comic book film. Was it Dark Knight, though? Was it Dark Knight or was it...
It wasn't Spider-Man 2 as in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2. It wasn't. We'd already had Spider-Man 3 by that point, I think. I like The Dark Knight Returns partly because I like Gary Oldman's Commissioner Gordon. He got a better use. There was a bit more of the comic book element in The Dark Knight Returns. I kind of like the twist. There was more of the Ra's al Ghul again in that, and there was more comic book in that one. They knew The Dark Knight was too grounded, and they kind of went back. But to me, Batman Begins is my favourite Batman movie. Now, I think Ben Affleck can be quite a good Batman, and I would like to see more of him. I am going to go and see the Flash movie.
I can't say that because it's. I don't think he was given Batman to work with.
I don't believe this, but when did The Dark Knight come out? Was it 2008?
I think it was 2007.
Because he might be right. And for him to get that, we're in an alternative fucking reality.
No, I think, I can tell you it's because it's Dark Knight. I'm sure Dark Knight was 2007.
But he might be right around about, wasn't it Christmas?
It was, Dark Knight was 2008. Why do I think it was 2007? I had an iPod, that's why.
You Googled that, Nigel. You Googled that. There's no fucking way. We're in an alternative reality. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, actually, this is a really good point, actually, because Fuzz Aldrin said, some say J.J. Abrams' DCEU will screw Batman too. He can't make anything. There's that Lord of the Rings quote, which, what was it? Evil cannot create, it can only manipulate and destroy, which is J.J. Abrams.
I admit nothing. I'm going to go and see the next Flashpoint movie because I want to see Michael Keaton back in it. Ben Affleck is in it. So I want to see what they do. I know that Ezra Miller is going to annoy the hell out of me, but I will go and see it purely for Michael Keaton because, Ezra Miller. Michael Keaton has been on point. I've seen him in some films recently, and he's been really, 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 really good. He was brilliant as the Doctor in that dope stick thing on Disney Plus. He was, the guy can act, and I like Michael Keaton. I like Michael Keaton. Everything I've seen him in recently, I've liked him in. And I'm looking forward to seeing him back as Batman again because at the end of the day, I grew up with fucking Adam West, but the first serious Batman was Michael Keaton. Those two movies, you can poke holes in them, but they are very good Batman movies.
And that gave birth to one of the 3 brilliant cartoons of comic books, which was the Batman animated series. And then you got the X-Men animated series, which went along with that. And you had the Spider-Man animated series. And they were those as animated series as a kid. Those the top notch, top drawer stuff. Those were all 3 of them. It was fantastic. And Batman had guns in it. Proper machine guns.
Do we need another Batman movie? Probably not at the moment. But if Ben Affleck was suddenly to change his mind and he was given the cash and he was going to make that Batman movie, I would be looking forward to that. I am a Batman fan. As I said, I'm not sure if it's my favorite comic of all time, but it is certainly up there. The Dark Knight Returns, I love.
Can I just put something out? Knight is talking more than he does normally on the podcast, and he's not here.
And he's also making sense. We are in an alternative
not him.
reality.
This is someone hacked his account.
Someone hacked his account.
Ezra Miller can zoom off into the sunset and carry on into a black hole, as far as I'm concerned.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. Not wrong either. I wouldn't do that. Just keep the pregnant women away from me.
The only thing that Ezra Miller has done right was take the piss out of Aquaman for fucking fish. I have to admit that one line did make me laugh. But that's because Peacemaker was actually genuinely quite good. And I saw Suicide Squad again recently and enjoyed it all over again. The second one,
Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad.
The one that was the recent one with Peacemaker in it.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. And then the follow-up series, and I'm glad it's got a second series. That is something you will have to see when you can watch it in the UK.
I need to talk to Malcolm. I was supposed to talk to Malcolm last week. I didn't get around to it. I need to catch up with him.
It is something you should see because it's genuinely been quite good.
I've realised why Malcolm hasn't got back to me. I'm sure Gran Turismo 7 came out. And I'm sure that's why he hasn't got back to me, because he took a picture of it.
Nigel liked the Gran Turismo games, and Nigel's.
I don't know.
I thought Nigel was into it. Nigel, you're into Gran Turismo. I thought you were. Might be wrong.
No,
might be dreaming.
No, you're wrong.
Might be in the alternative reality.
Malcolm's the Gran Turismo nut. I know, because me and Malcolm used to have 100-lap races, like proper endurance races, and it was like we'd have to agree when to take a piss together. So it's like, no, you can hold on a bit longer. He does.
Just so get got it, and no, not surprised, Nigel, because you never get anything on release like ever.
Oh yeah, but trust me,
like
PlayStation 5 stuff is like 50 quid. All right, so I think we should wrap this one up. So to put things into perspective, we looked at Captain James T. Picard. Because it's not fucking Picard. That's the problem, okay? He's James T. Picard, and it doesn't make any sense because the TV show doesn't make any bloody sense. And I've deemed it, couldn't hold my attention for more than 15 minutes. Keith, yeah, it was like kind of, I'm not falling for the same trap twice. I'm not falling for the same trap twice. He's like the bug and the bug zapper. Oh, bright light, bright light, bright light. Sort of thing.
It's wishful thinking. I'm a fan of Star Wars. I grew up on Star Wars and I grew up on Star Trek: The Next Gen, and I want these things to be good. And there is the ever hopeful person in me that wants it to be good. And I watched that, and I went back and watched it. You'd be proud of me, guys, because I went, no, this is bullshit. Let me put the fucking BS filter on, so I can filter out the BS and watch it again. And then I saw it.
Okay.
Like, oh.
And Gareth thinks the Batman's crap, but he might be wrong because he may have had the arse when he went into the cinema, and that may have affected him because he couldn't find a car parking space. But the music's not very good. I can fucking say that categorically. I cannot believe the people going on about that. Oh, the music's really good. What? Explain to me. Hum the tune. You're going to get closer to the fucking March of the Empire from Star Wars than you would to the Batman tune. Don't lie to me. I don't like it. It winds me up because I listened to that and I was just like, this is the funeral dirge with some bits spurged onto it. It's like fucking Michael Giamatti had the day off. He does normally do quite good soundtracks, yeah? But there's the Superman one, I think, is his best one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. That one, that's you know, if you can identify the track from that, you're a better man than me.
The guy that wrote the music for this is Michael G. What's his face that wrote the music for Star Trek, which I actually do quite like, but it's the only good thing about those movies. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you know that the cast of Star Trek 4 did not know that they were making Star Trek 4 when it got announced?
Yes, because J.J. Abrams.
Did you hear that?
Shit. Yeah. I've heard of that. It's like, oh, I've been fucking cast.
That made me giggle.
It's because they can't get investors, because China's just turned around to Paramount and said, no, we don't want anything to do with you. They've actually said, I think they've said that to all the film companies now, but they said the first company was Paramount. So yeah, I can't wait for JJ to ruin Superman. He's done Star Wars. He's done Star Trek. Might as well let him go fucking Doctor Who while he's at it.
Is he make? Well, Doctor Who's went into production this week, so season 13 or 14,
Rumours
14.
that Capaldi's coming back for the 60th.
Yeah, and so rumours are is Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah,
because he has come back for Big Finish.
The only one that hasn't been confirmed is Matt Smith.
Yes,
and that's because he's probably doing the House of the Dragon.
This is true. He hasn't been confirmed, but the rumor is that a lot of the living Doctors are coming back.
Oh,
I'm hearing some interesting stuff around what Russell T Davies is planning. Go
on. The new Morbius trailer, it features a lot of Matt Smith in the audio, which I'm so grateful for him. It's like you think you're the good guy, yeah. He goes, and you should learn to die like everyone else. Something along those lines. I'm like, kind of dude. I'm getting Doctor vibes. I miss Doctor Who. I really do fucking miss Doctor Who. Used to be
I will admit that I will be tuning in the day that episode airs, even though the BBC are still trying to really big up. They're going, this regeneration is the regeneration of the 13th Doctor is the biggest one ever, and it's going to be huge. It's like, yes, because everybody's going to be going, thank God the bitch is gone when she regenerates.
The witch is dead.
Well, Doctor Who come back. Russell T Davies come back.
If they do it right, what we should do is she should burst into flames. It should zoom in, and then we shouldn't see anything until the 60th, and then we get introduced to them at the end of the 60th.
We've just got to get rid of this. I mean, even this week, they were interviewing one of the writers, and they admitted that they never conceived the Yaz Doctor lesbionics relationship when they first started the show. Oh, really? Oh, that wasn't shoehorned in? Oh, I never would have known.
Yeah,
when the other two people saw the writing on the wall after the second season and went, this is really shit, and I don't want to be associated with it anymore, so we're leaving.
So the other thing too is I know that there's the expression queer baiting. One, they do it a lot. Two, it's unnecessary. There's more queer people on fucking TV than there is in real life. If you do just like an audit. But I can understand why gay people and that get annoyed when they try to push a character and it never happens. Yeah, I can see that. It's anyway. I'm done. I'm finished. I've had my rant. I wanna get a nice cup of tea, cigarette, and have a big poo. So, for all the other people out there looking for a cup of tea and a big poo, have a good week.
See you next week. Oh no, I won't be here next week. Nigel, you're carrying the show. You got to be here next week.
I'm not here next week either, Nigel. You're carrying the entire show. Catch you next week, all right? Bye. Nice big poo. Okay, all right. Turn off and go. Done. Got it. Right.
Apparently, I'm muted.